Greetings, student populace of TUT. I greet you under the umbrella of EFF Student Command, TUT Soshanguve branch. My name is Julius Kalushi Mohadi. I am hereby to present the EFF Student Command TUT Soshanguve Manifesto of 2021 to 2022. While 2021 is regarded as a tough academic year for TUT students, the reality of the matter is that COVID-19 pandemic exposed the shenanigans of TUT, institution of higher learning in South Africa at large. Black-orientated institutions like TUT found themselves wanting when coming to implementing and adapting to what we are told is new normal, despite the fact that TUT is one of those institutions claiming to be the pioneer of technological education in South Africa and the continent. One even asks, is the institution ready to conduct online elections? We pose these questions as a movement simply because currently the institution is struggling to implement online learning. How possible can it be that TUT can run free, credible online elections when it falls in these basics? As we contest these elections, we must make it vividly that we do not trust TUT management and whoever who is tasked to run these online elections. We say so as movement simply because in 2018, a company which was tasked to run on-campus election was found to have tampered with smooth running of elections, which of course the EFF Student Command was winning at that time. What is more saddening is that in the process, we lost a student who got shot simply because he wanted free and fair elections. Worse enough, until today, no concrete report was ever given on what really happened in 2018. With this manifesto, the EFF Student Command believes that the TUT student shall never hesitate to cast their votes to EFF Student Command. However, we are concerned that if ballots can be stolen in daylight on campus elections, what will happen when elections are run online? Fellow students, the EFF Student Command provides in this document clear reason why it should be voted to govern TUT, and as such, hope it shall be given the opportunity. Number one, under the EFF Student Command governance, 24/7 library and iCenter service shall be implemented. It is abnormal for a university with more than 15,000 students to have iCenters and libraries which cannot at least accommodate the mere 100 students. The EFF Student Command is pro-education and says, if voted in power, it shall not hesitate to implement in its first day of office. Furthermore, fellow student, by implementing this, it simply means that additional students, assistants, vacancies shall be created and more students shall benefit on this initiative. So students must go in their numbers on the 14th to 16th of September 2021 to put the EFF Student Command in power. On free registration for all, under the EFF Student Command governance, the student bazofunda mahala. And TUT must know that it's only through frustrations that led students all over the country to mandate the EFF Student Command to go on on Fees Must Fall protest. We promise to all students that under EFF Student Command government, no student will pay registration fee, and that those who their job description is amongst others to block our students when they want to register in January must know that they shall kiss their jobs. Under the EFF Student Command government, all students, regardless of whether they owe what, shall register for free of charge. Vote for the EFF Student Command. On residents, TUT residents under the EFF Student Command government must meet minimum standard of student residence that we see. The EFF Student Command is currently witnessing pure Madalagufa hostels, if not as Dimeni Camp Center, that being called with charming names like student residences. For safety of our students, all students, regardless of whether they have NSFAS or not, must be removed from location and backyard residences that does not have a security for our students. And the residences of Bumamezala that they are deemed not safety, as soon as possible. Therefore, under EFF Student Command TUT will be forced to build more residences for students. Outsourcing of student accommodation can never be sustainable, and as such, EFF Student Command shall never support it. On NSFAS, the led SRC shall establish 24/7 NSFAS online platform specifically to address student challenges relating to NSFAS under the EFF student government. All students who did not apply for NSFAS on national website shall be allowed to apply in TUT during January registrations. All NSFAS appeals and N+2 students shall be prioritized under the EFF Student Command government in TUT. The EFF Student Command-led SRC shall ensure that allowances of all deserving students are not delayed. Therefore, we urge all students to invest their vote to EFF Student Command on the 14th to the 16th of September 2021. On the transport, under EFF Student Command, all students, as long as they are registered, will be allowed to board whatever TUT transport without any question. The EFF Student Command-led SRC shall create a safer model for security of our students in the process, and we hope students shall no longer stress about transport. All staff members hired for purpose of assisting during COVID-19 shall only be TUT students, and moreover unemployed postgraduate students of Tshwane University of Technology. Trust us and vote for EFF Student Command. Alternative to online learning. Despite the fact that all students will voluntarily undergo a training about online learning applications such as My Tutor or My Tutor Brightspace. Immediately after registration, EFF Student Command-led SRC will ensure that alternative submission and the writing of assessments will be provided to all students. It's only EFF Student Command that understand student challenges, and such shall be the only one to resolve student challenges. And therefore, we are saying vote for the EFF Student Command. Therefore, on this very much important issue that needs to be addressed and never be shaken, to address it. The insourcing of security officers under greedy tender beneficiaries. Fellow students, wars are labor wars, and labor wars are in fact student wars. It is saddening to witness the level of exploitation directed to this parent of ours, the securities, yet at the end of the month being given slave wages by these greedy tender beneficiaries. The EFF Student Command does not even imagine how these securities were left out during the insourcing of TUT cleaners. Therefore, we are saying the EFF Student Command is the only political structure that can be entrusted with the insourcing of our fellow mothers and fathers who are out there cleaning for this institution. Therefore, vote for the EFF Student Command. On the TUT Health Department or a clinic, the poor service offered to our students during this time of pandemic is not only stinking, but cumbersome. Under the EFF Student Command government, only free quality health service will be offered to our students, not this nonsensical deliverance that we are getting. We will ensure that qualified doctors will be employed in this department, and that mobile clinics shall be established both in telecom and TCE. No more than the queues in TUT clinics. Vote for the EFF Student Command. Yours in the revolution. Yours in free, decolonized, and well-resourced education. Vote for the EFF Student Command. Salute.
Amandla, my name is Leki Mukwena. I'm the current BTT member representing SASCO in this manifesto. So SASCO is the student organization that has been in the organization for numerous years and has always seen to accommodate its students at campus. And SASCO is the only organization that seeks to even be privileged that it can go to students and tell them that it has done 1, 2, 3 for them. SASCO, I will start by saying at the first point when there's admissions and registration, SASCO is the first organization that you seek to see its visibility in campus, coming from with the hashtag of Right to Learn campaign, of which is the national campaign of SASCO. In every campus, SASCO seeks to represent students in that manner. Then the achievements of SASCO as the organization in this campus, even though we're not familiar with the issues that were currently happening because of COVID-19, but we were able to assist students regarding issues of financial blockage, issues of academic exclusion and provisions. And SASCO has always wanting to have something that can seek to connect either students of Funza Lushaka and students of NSFAS, and those ones who are not accommodated in this thing, in the 2 bursary schemes, so that they can, SRC must have its own scheme that can accommodate those ones who are not accommodated by both Funza Lushaka and NSFAS. So, even in regards to the disability student organization, SASCO has always lobbying behind, of which it's now being called a succession. Others even take a space to even wanting to claim it. But SASCO has always been behind the DSO structure to make sure that they are accommodated in terms of infrastructure, of which is something that we still continue to fight, and the university has not even listened to it. But in regards to being accommodated in the constitution of SRC, it has transitioned, made sure that the transition of the public mass communication portfolio is turned in the Officer of Universal Access, of which its duties and principle is to accommodate students of disability at any point. But SASCO also, in students' calls, has had many students calling for that. I will start to state one, that students do not have Capitec banks on campus, but majority of students use Capitec Bank. So SASCO has been calling for an ATM of Capitec to also be here. And the other one is the infrastructure of the disability to also be promoted, because now we are having disability students who cannot even consult at the offices of their lectures because there's no infrastructure. Even the lifts at the campus infrastructure is poor. The pathways of the disabilities are not being, and even in students' governance, the disability are not accommodated, because now students, even, I can say in a simple example, there were a student leadership camp that was happening, but the disability students were not accommodated. Then going forth again is that SASCO also calls for the financial unblocking of every student in the upcoming years, and the financial exclusions to be uplifted of every student, because we are having issues that students are very blocked in every academic year. But that becomes a loophole, because now the structure that seeks to represent students, they do not do as they please without even having the issues of students at hand. The other issue that I'm going to deal with is the academic exclusion, because students, at some point, we can even affirm that the 2019 and 2020 academic year was not in our favor because of the COVID-19 and issues. But there was no emergency policy that was introduced by the institution itself, but we're still relying on the policies that were happening when things were normal. But currently, we seek to also call for every student who has the blockage of academic records, who have finished their qualification, to be unblocked, because those issues, you can't be coming to an institution and even leaving without having your qualification at hand on an academic record for that purpose to go and look for a job somewhere else. That's what SASCO advocates for, to say every student must get whatever that they are here so that they can go outside and look for jobs so that they can pay the institution back. But failure to do so, it brings a problem to the institution and students itself, because they cannot pay for their debt and now they cannot even find jobs. So now it takes us back to students relying on the 350 that does not even sustain the toiletries of themselves. Then we come to issues of residencies. We found residencies that students tend to enjoy luxury in the toilets, but when they are going to their rooms, they find a room with that cannot even, it's not a privilege, you cannot even find a privacy within your room, but when you go to a toilet, you find privacy. We advocate that the renovation, if it has to be renovated, then even the curtains must be replaced so that the curtains can, it really hurts the organization to find that the curtain is patched with an organization t-shirt, because the curtains are not even fully covering the whole room. So the women even doesn't find the privacy within their rooms then. And again, continues to say, if the privacy of students has to be considered, then the renovation of residences, the infrastructure is even poor, because it can be recalled from back when the merger was coming to TUT, to form TUT of TNG, TNC, and TUT Tshwane Technikon. So now we are saying we can't be talking about our historical disadvantage, but when we have the institution is in power, does not even seek to uplift its infrastructure, but we are seeing renovations and constructions happening everywhere in campus. But even the current residents that we see, that on our side, as we conclude, it's very beautiful that students can go and accommodate, but because of the politics of the institution, the students are told that it does not fit for occupation. But where did that money go to? How did it come to a point that residents, you spend millions, but you are having residences that are still standing but do not renovate them, but you seek to renovate toilets? Then that's the question that even SASCO, when it goes to SRC, it must seek to understand, or what's the status quo of the institution in terms of its finances, and how is it utilized, and what is it that students seek to advantage from these things. Then we are having labs that at some point it does not even have access to the internet, or labs that are not even suitable for students or who can sit and study at their comfort zone. So now we seek to say the infrastructure of the institution is something that must be considered as the priority and number one thing that must be done. And the education, we have seen the university transitioning from contact classes to multimodal learning, but without any plans on how they are going to do it and going forward. We are having students now currently and coming to write the sitting test, but there's no vaccination, mass vaccination that has been happening on campus for students. But for staff members, I'm told that there's somehow where they are happening. That's what we seek to understand, or what's the purpose of this thing? So do we put students at Janka Hall to go and die there, or do we seek to also save the life of students so that as SASCO, we also push for the mass vaccination process to also happen for students before they can even proceed with the sitting summative tests that are planned. And SASCO endorses for the issue of benchmarking with other institutions in terms of multimodal and its bursary schemes. We have seen UJ having the SRC trust funds that accommodate students who do not have NSFAS and students who do not have Funza Lushak. And again, those students who are left outside from the scheme, we seek to have a SRC endorsed bursary scheme that can accommodate those postgraduate students and those students who cannot afford to study but also cannot afford to get NSFAS. That's where the middle class, that's where they fall. And we have seen currently even SASCO can also seek to have this as an achievement, whereby we are having a TJ residences that is near Grossing that was seeking that students must pay for their own residences electricity. Then we went there as SASCO and questioned this issue. By now we can tell you that proudly that SASCO now students do no longer have to pay for their electricity. Electricity is paid by the service provider in terms of TUT regulations that a service provider must supply electricity. So with all said, I think with that all said, SASCO encourages students to vote for SASCO, not based on what we have achieved, but based on what students still feels that they must achieve. I think as SASCO, in terms of our program of action, we have achieved what we have thought that is not achievable in this academic year of 2019 and 2020. Then we seek to also revise, since we're a student organization that transition with times and students' issues do not get to an end. So every issue that students has is the issues that SASCO takes into consideration and number one organization in campus and still remains to be so. So we are saying to students, ayihlomi ihlasela siye phambili asimi siyaphila phela ke phela amandla khona to khona.
Revolutionary greetings to comrades and students at large. I hope you guys are good, and I also hope you guys are safe during this difficult time of the pandemic. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the SGLD for conducting this amazing platform for us politicians to engage with our fellow students. I go by the name of Mandla Mbata, and I'm the member of the greatest and effective movement, the Democratic Alliance Student Organization. So basically this video serves a reminder to say, guys, the elections are underway. Please, 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 on the 14th to 16th of September, vote for the Democratic Alliance Student Organization. So please, guys, I urge you all to practice your democratic and constitutional right in terms of Section 19, which entails that each and every civilian has a right to make a political choice. So I wouldn't encourage any of you guys to vote for political parties that are being led by people who are logically incapacitated or people who are not doing well in terms of their academics. I wouldn't encourage any of you to entrust your academic life to someone who is not doing well. So basically the Democratic Alliance Student Organization manifesto seeks to inform all these political parties that have been governing this institution for quite some time to say their time to lie, their time to mislead the student has expired. The DASO is here to ensure that the TUT students are represented well, fairly, transparently, without demanding anything from our fellow students. So basically we've had several issues within the institution, and I'm gonna unpack each and every one of them. So basically the students of Tshwane University of Technology have been suffering. The suffering of TUT students is too loud, and these incapacitated politicians are doing nothing about that. The problem starts with us students when it comes to the choices we make in voting for political parties that are not there to represent the interest of them. So we as a DA, we are here to let the student know that we are here to represent them. We are here to let the students know that the problem starts with us students in making wrong decisions when it comes to making political choices, when it comes to voting for wrong political parties. I mean, you can't vote for someone who came here 2007 and trust that particular person with your academic life. That there are politicians who are here not serving the interest of the student, but they are here serving their own political stomach. So we as a Democratic Alliance Student Organization, we are here to put a stop in that. We are actually here to fight for the right of the students. We are here to ensure that each and every student is afforded equal opportunities and resources to reach their own individual potential. We as a Democratic Alliance Student Organization, we are here to strive for academic excellence. We are actually aware that the TUT name has been tainted. TUT has turned a laughingstock to other universities across the country. This is not because of the academic performance, but because of the choices the students make in choosing, in electing, and in taking their decision in voting for political parties. So I feel like students are being promised things that other political parties cannot achieve. So we as a Democratic Alliance Student Organization, we are here with new faces, and we are doing very well in terms of our academics. We are encouraging academic excellence. So I would encourage each and every one of you guys to vote for the Democratic Alliance Student Organization. Amen.
Greetings, the Republican. We, the students of South African citizenship, understand that our role is not and cannot be confined to being students which are not regarded as having sufficient and significant impact and voice in the society generally. So, we, Abantu Batu Student Congress, find it very necessary to commit ourselves to progressive, democratic, and inclusive values with the aim of correcting the wrongs which exist in the current educational system and the society as large. It is in vain that we unequivocally commit ourselves to enlighten the student population to the need of radically overhaul and decolonize South African educational system. Organizing students across the length, the breadth of South Africa towards advancing the ideal which will ensure a greater accessibility to the higher education in South Africa. Permission for free registration for both beneficiary of variety of bursaries and non-beneficiaries. Channeling provision of proper resident for non-accredited and on-campus resident with equitable price that suit both beneficiary of variety of bursaries and non-beneficiaries. Both prospective student and returning student to be provided with the residence immediately after registering for that particular academic year. Students who have bursaries to receive their allowance at the precise time without the delay of any allowance. Clearance of historical debt at the end of every academic year for students who have bursaries. All graduates to receive their certificate despite owing the universities. Ensuring a proper treatment of students from lecturers or any individual in or outside Tshwane University of Technology premises. Necessary measures to be taken to any individual that violates the right of students regardless of their portfolios or their power. Our challenge here is to produce intellectual cadres inspired by revolutionary consciousness to combat the challenges that we have mentioned above and any challenges that will be brought forward to us from perspective to the graduate. We plead with the students to vote for APSC for the upcoming election, which will part on the 14th to the 16th of September of 2021. Abafundi.
Fellow Republicans of the Soshanguve campus, receive my warm salutations and allow me to deliver our 2021 manifesto for the upcoming SRC elections. Student Christian Organization is a multicultural, Christocentric, socio-political organization. It welcomes all people from different walks of life, spiritual, political, and cultural background that support the growth of our organization and transformation of institution of higher learning. And it is a symbol and embodiment of the Christian determination to present a united national front, to hold high morality standards, academic excellence, and inclusive education. Our authenticity is that through all the years of existence in the campus, we have been able to provide needy students. Every month we help to feed 5 to 7 people, and we are able to pay rent for 3 students through one of our substructure feeding scheme. Through our substructure social affairs, we address social matters such as how to deal with life circumstances, how to overcome life challenges, how to maintain a harmonic atmosphere with people living around you, and how to conduct yourself as a student. We represent students from all walks of life, leading them to a personal life with God. We pride ourselves in the development of leadership through our active substructures. During the beginning of the current academic year 2021, we assisted several students faced with different challenges with their allowances. We pride ourselves as SCO for these free services we provide to our students. However, all these were not end mark. All these were not our end mark. Through our selfless leadership, we are continuing to assist students with different challenges as the processes are difficult and our student academics are a priority. We are also willing to be in the forefront to assist our learners who will be seeking access to the institution and will need help in securing their financial provisions for their academic periods. Ladies and gentlemen, through partnership with an external organization by the name of Youth Equipment Agency, whose board executives and directors also serve as our SCO branch executives, such as Chairperson, Secretary General, and Treasury. Approximately 250 first-year students were handed over to SCO for assistance. through its partnership with this external organization. Finally, we pledge and vow that if we are voted for, we will ensure that student grievances are met by taking relevant measures to relevant people by ensuring, number one, student safety is not compromised. Number two, our library be open for 24 hours and cameras be installed for protection of study materials. Number three, student health is our priority, and the clinic should be open even during weekends with increased working hours for emergency cases. Number four, self-funded students should be given food parcels as a way of showing care for all students. Number five, accessibility of student studying environment. If elected, we promise to work tirelessly in our elected positions and make sure your issues and concerns are fully addressed. With all that said, we exist because of you, and we honor you for trusting us by casting your vote for SCO on the upcoming elections running from 14 to the 16th September 2021. Hashtag Vula Umnyango Wemfundo. God bless you, thank you, and may you vote for SCO. Thank you, Siyabonga Nakensa. Thank you.
Revolutionary greetings to students of the Republic. Speaking here is Sianda Kumar, the Speaker of ATISM. ATISM that will bring change to you students. We have received, as an organization, we have received many complaints about the buses, the funding, Funza Lushaka funding, N+2 funding. As the Minister of Education, Bladen Zimand, addressed the issue that N2+ funding should be extended with 2 years, but then we do not see that here in our institution. We as ATISM will fight that. When you guys vote for us, we ensure that N2+ students will be funded. Moving on to Funza Lushaka. Funza Lushaka students should not strike before they get their allowances. We will fight that when you vote for us. You should get your allowances in time. You should not be forced to take laptops. You should be treated like NSFAS students. Moving on. The issue of buses. Students, the issue of buses that reside in accredited races. The buses that reside in accredited buses reside outside the campus, which is not okay or not good. Amabhasi la apangaphandle eingane ehlala kum accredited akukho right. The student outside gets robbed when it's late. Makulate ingane zarojwa la ngaphandle iphuma late la ecampusini. So the buses should reside on campus. Senze sure ukuthi the safety of students, we put the safety of students in our hands. Moving forward, when we register in January, we have to pay 20% so that we can register, which is not good. But if abafundi labo khokha 20% ukuze be register kodwa NSFAS bena, we will fight that. Funa ukuthi abafundi be register bengakhokhanga lutho because NSFAS bana putsa students. Thank you.
Greetings, I am Soshanguve Malageng, the additional member of ANC Youth League, the former class rep of Public Management 2020. We urge students to vote for the ANC Youth League from the 14th and the 16th of September 2021. We promise to deliver and cater for the students' issues as we promise. Amanda Maikale, the ANC Youth League of Anthony Lambade, Nelson Mandela, Jackie Silibe, Peter Mukaba. As a proud member of the TUT community, ANC Youth League pledge to be the voice of the students under the banner of the ANC Youth League, and with the support of my peers, I aspire to promote an equally and engaged and active TUT community. ANC Youth League will deploy candidates that will be part of an SRC that is at the heart of the students' issues. An SRC which is an exclusive and an SRC which mobilizes the very essence of the university and the students. Our right to a free and equal society must be upheld within the TUT community. Change must be a vibrant voice of the students. Some of the issues ANC Youth League advocating for includes the equality must be exclusive of the entire TUT community, including the workers. As responsible TUT students, it is our duty to ensure that our workers are fairly treated. Outsourcing must therefore be revoked and working conditions be bettered. With ANC Youth League long-standing insight in labor and services at TUT, this can be achieved. The greater goal of a non-racial, transformed, and equal campus society is what ANC Youth League is striving toward. Another thing is that as the ANC Youth League, we like to challenge the issue of the accommodation. We have been calling on management, more especially in our campus, to ensure that all students who are NSFAS and bursaries beneficiaries must get accommodation from their institution. We are aware that many of our students are struggling to get accommodation, even at this time. So by voting the ANC Youth League, we are going to ensure that this is going to be challenged. And the issue of the security. The ANC Youth League would like to call the management to strengthen the campus security to ensure that all students are safe, more especially those who are staying off campus. So by voting the ANC Youth League, you will again be saying we need safety in our campus. Students and fellow comrades, the ANC Youth League is contesting the SRC elections not exactly to get power, but to ensure that all challenges that our students faces each and every day are resolved. As Ubaba Ngizo said, Maikale, Amanda.
Greetings, fellow students of the People's University. I come forward from the South African Democratic Student Movement, SADESMO. I'm here to plead you all to vote for SADESMO. As you know, a vote for SADESMO is a vote for a change. All we are saying to our students, in September you will get a chance to vote for a change. A vote that speaks for you. You can become a voice of a reason and join SADESMO today. Our organization is willing to articulate the position of our suffering as Black students. Vote for the change, not pain that we are currently enduring as students. To my brothers and sisters, we must not let cowards and sellouts who are scared to use power to save us abandon the power we have in our vote. Vote for the formation that understands the problem faced by the student populace. This will be your chance to elect the right people to the right position so that coming a year at TUT will be characterized by a support assistant and sound leadership for TUT students. This SRC election will have an impact on your time at TUT. They will also have impact on your reputation of this institution, making it desirable place to study and an asset on the CVs of the graduates. Studying is hard. It demands enormous investment and enormous sacrifice. Many of those who start never finish. And all those who finish a story to tell is hardship and challenge at some point in journey. The cost alone to get a higher education are very steep. We are still fighting for promise of higher education, but then there will be a reality of accommodation, books, food, data, and all kinds of expense that must be paid by students. It is a simple fact that there isn't enough to go around. Even NSFAS is struggling. As good as is in theory. So you need someone on your side while studying. You need someone with your own best interests at heart, who knows the system and has an authority to engage with. I have nothing against leaders of other student movement, but I believe that leaders must lead people in the right direction. It is not just how nice you are or how popular you are. It is not even how sincerely you are, because it is possible to be sincere but not sincere, but be sincerely wrong. We must choose leaders who are backed by the sound of vision, a constructive world view, and broader leadership, integrity, and wisdom. Let's get SADESMO the majority of seats so that the leaders who save our students will lead in direction. SADESMO is providing leadership that puts your needs at the center of everything. Forward with SADESMO. My fellow students, please vote for SADESMO. Your vote matters. Please vote for a change. Amandla, iyaphi indlovu, iya phambili.
Receive my revolutionary greetings. I am Noble Dr. Paula, and I'll be representing PASMA's manifesto. PASMA is the only students' movement that is in resolving students' issues in the institution. As a result of COVID-19, the subsequent lockdown forced students to learn from home and do all the administration from home. Communication is very restricted. As PASMA, we say we will facilitate and boost student participation and overall of the effective use of social platforms to firstly improve student lecture and administer and communication. Secondly, boost Students' socialization will be at the top of our list as PASMA. This will make sure the social, academic, mental, and spiritual welfare of the students is being monitored and taken seriously. As PASMA, we say it is understood that representing matters concerning the students to the administration and getting meaningful and constructive feedback in order to honor this. It is very important to us as it is our top priority. In regards of registration, to us PASMA, education means service to an African child. In that, as PASMA, we manage to help students, both funded and not funded students, and to register at the beginning of the year. And those students with disabilities, we managed to meet their needs. In regards to the registrations, as PASMA, education means service to an African child. As PASMA, we managed to help funded, NFSAS funded students and non-funded students together with the disabled students to register at the beginning of the year, and those with disabilities, we managed to make their needs to be met at the end. SDS should take full responsibility of the students that are attending counseling. As a result of SDS not taking full responsibilities, it results to the increase of number of exclusions of students. Accommodation of the students. I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but then
what is it that the institution is doing to make sure that the accommodation of the students is in a proper manner? Firstly, the institution should make sure that each and every accommodation or residence should have a Wi-Fi installed. And then hygiene should be the top priority of the institution. Each and every student should be in a hygiene place, not in a filthy place, because we cannot be treated as prisoners. We deserve to be in a clean place because we are human and cleanliness is next to godliness. Why should we be in a filthy place whereby they expect us to be in classes while we should be in a proper manner? In regards to that, all the facilities of the campus should be in a proper manner. And then accredited residents, its fees are escalating each and every year. The fees of the students keep on rising and rising sky high. What is it that the institution is doing? As PASMA, we demand that the accredited accommodation should be equal to the accommodation residents in the campus, should be in an equal level, because once the fees keep on rising, it means that the fees will keep on rising, and then it will lead to exclusion of the students. Safety and security. We as PASMA demand that the institution should have a tight security at the bus terminals because many students are being mugged and robbed while they're going to their off-campus residence. What is it that the institution should implement to keep the What is it the institution should implement for the students to be should be safe at all times? There should be a security tied up. The security should be tied up for students who are residing at the residence at off-campus, and that in that failure to do so, students will not be coming to campus, and then they'll miss a lot of things. Because if the students tell the lecturers that we missed a test or an assignment because of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, they will not be granted an opportunity to go through the assignment again. As PASMA, we believe that we can lead, and then us leading, being at the front, we believe that we can meet the requirements and the needs of the students by saying that TUT students should be at the banner, behind the banner of PASMA on the following dates, 14th to the 16th of September, and vote PASMA, because PASMA will bring change to the students. Since it's Women's Month, I'm saying train a woman, train a nation. To that, Izwe lethu, i-Africa.